Hello fans, collectors, investors, welcome back to Iconic Baseball. Iconic Al here, and as I record this video today, we are 3 days away from the National in Chicago. And I made a similar video last year, about 5 days prior to the National, the things that I was targeting, the things that I wanted to pick up, and I'm going to do something similar today. Last year, I correctly foreshadowed my acquisition of a Jackie Robinson autograph. If I go home with a Jackie Robinson autograph, that will be likely the only thing that I go home with. But I will be looking for one. That was my one and only pickup from the 2022 National, and here she is. Just a really nice example of what I think is a playing days Jackie Robinson autograph on a piece of notebook paper in beautiful bold pencil. Also listed him there as second base Brooklyn Dodgers, which just a little touch that I like. It sort of makes it more authentic and from the time. Shout out to Scott at Reindeer Studios for giving me that card last year. Hope to see you again this year. Thank you, sir. I always keep that little art card along with my autograph in my collection. So thank you, sir. So that was my one pickup from 2022. I still don't believe that I own it, to be quite honest. I never thought I'd be able to afford a Jackie Robinson autograph. I came in with a budget, and that pretty much blew my entire budget. And I don't regret it one bit. I have a couple pieces this year that I look at in the same way. About 6 out of the 10 things on my list are holdovers from last year, but stick around and I'll run through my top 10 targets for the 2023 National.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
I'm coming in this year with a very similar budget and a very similar approach to last year. It's a very focused list of about 10 items that I'll be actively pursuing. The first 3 on the list are top end, meaning like the Jackie Robinson last year, if I see the item in front of me and I have the ability to buy it, it's worth blowing my budget on that one item. So without any further ado, I'm going to put images of the items over to the left of the screen as I talk about them. So number 1 on the list is the 1940 play ball Shoeless Joe Jackson. Now this is a dream card for me, one that has been on my radar for many years, was on my top 10 targets video last year for the National. I'm not optimistic that I'll find one in my budget, but if I find a nice presenting copy in a 1.5 or a 2, and I'm able to buy it, that would be worth blowing my entire budget on. Just one of those dream cards, a pre-war card of Shoeless Joe, and there just aren't many cards depicting Shoeless Joe, especially ones that are somewhat in the realm of affordability. Anything during his playing days is pretty much out of the question for me, so this is sort of my last grasp at a pre-war Shoeless Joe. So we'll see what happens. Okay, number 2 would be a slabbed autograph of Cy Young. Again, one of those top of the budget type of items. If it appears before me and I have a chance to acquire that, again, worth blowing the entire budget on arguably the most iconic pitcher of all time. Number 3, Walter Johnson, an autograph of Walter Johnson, arguably the greatest pitcher of all time. And one of those items that, again, I don't expect to be able to purchase a Walter Johnson autograph, but again, I didn't expect to be able to purchase a Jackie Robinson autograph last year, so you never know. These 3 items would all be worth blowing the entire budget on if any one of those came in my price range. All right, so now we get down to lower tier items, ones that I might be able to bundle a few and bring home a few items from the National this year. Number 4 is the 1948 Bowman Stan Musial rookie card. Now, this is a card, again, that I've been after for years. A nice presentable copy in a 3 or a 4 would be amazing if I could find one within my budget. And it's just a matter of finding that copy at the right price. And I'd love to take one of those home this year. So a 48 Bowman Musial rookie card. Again, one of the top 15 on my countdown. In fact, he has it number 15. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I'd love to bring home that card this year. Number 5, an autograph of Kid Nichols. I had a video on him earlier this year. He is, in my opinion, the greatest pitcher of the 1800s. You don't see autographs of him very often, but I don't really have anything for Kid Nichols, and that's something that needs to change. So I'm hoping to be able to bring home something authentic for and meaningful for Kid Nichols this year if I can. So that's number 5. Number 6, a 51 Burke Ross Joe DiMaggio, which I think this might be one of the sneaky ones this year. I hope I can find a nice copy this year. I think it's one of his most underappreciated cards. It's low population. It's playing days for DiMaggio. It came out during his final year. And I think it's one of those sneaky ways that one can get into a playing days DiMaggio without breaking the bank and spending thousands of dollars. So I'll be keeping a keen eye out. Shout out to Adam at Splendid Sports, because we talked about this card on his channel. So 51, Burke Ross, Joe DiMaggio. All right, number 7. This will be a 1938 Gowdy Heads Up, or as Chris from Missouri calls it, Gowdy Big Heads, of Charlie Gehringer. So that's a set that I have yet to acquire in my collection. I really want an authentic playing days Gehringer, but I also really want one of these cards in my collection, an example from this set. I think it's a really cool looking set, and it has a lot of character, and I just love that era of card, late 30s. Just weren't a lot of cards printed from that set, and they're very difficult to find. Consequently, they end up being more expensive than you'd think. So I'm hoping to find maybe a PSA 2 38 Gowdy Heads Up of Gehringer, a guy that's on my top 100, but I do not have a playing days card for him. So that would kind of kill two birds, getting that 38 Gowdy in my collection and a playing days Gehringer. Okay, number 8 would be the 93 SP Derek Jeter. I think the most iconic card of the 90s. I think this is the card of the 90s. If the card of the 80s was the 89 Upper Deck Griffey, or maybe the 80 Ricky Henderson, I think the card of the 90s is the SP Derek Jeter rookie card. And I don't have one of those. I never did. And they've come down so considerably from the peak of a couple years ago that I think a PSA 8 or a BGS 8.5 is a very attractive buy now. I think I'm going to be looking out for a very, very well-presenting, sneaky, good condition PSA 8 or BGS 8.5, one that maybe has favorable subgrades, one that on a different day could have been a 9, a card like that, whereas you can get it at a significant discount because it's an 8.5 or a PSA 8, but looks damn close to a 9. So I'll be looking out for a really kind of a bottom of the barrel bargain on a 93 SP Derek Jeter card, one of the most iconic cards out there, and maybe the most iconic of the 90s decade. All right, number 9. I'll be looking for, and this is more on the ultra-modern side, I don't look at a lot of ultra-modern in my collecting, but this guy is one that's been on my radar now for the last couple of years. I want a low-numbered rookie card of Juan Soto. This guy, quietly, is approaching 30 WAR, and he has yet to turn 25. I think we forget how young Juan Soto is, and I think what we're witnessing right now are the early stages of a first ballot Hall of Fame career. A guy who gets on base 42% of the time and has just mastery of the strike zone. And we still have yet to see his peak, I believe. So I'm going to be focusing on the 2018 Bowman's Best color refractors. I think those are underappreciated. They've come way down from where they were a couple of years ago. They're all low numbered. I believe the purple is numbered out of 250. The blue, I think, is numbered out of 150. You have the green numbered out of 99. And you have all these colors, but they're all pretty low numbered, and they're all serial numbered. I think that's where you're going to want to be for ultra-modern because of just how much printing has taken off over the past 4 or 5 years. So that's what I'll be targeting, one of those color refractor rookie cards of Juan Soto. And last, but certainly not least, objective number 10 for this year's National is to meet and get an autograph from Dr. Jim Beckett, a luminary in the hobby, someone that is huge in the history of my collecting. I remember getting those magazines every month. My brother and I would read through and see who was on the hot and cold list, look through the prices, read the articles, and it was just like, it was a big part of our collecting. And I saw him across the room during last year's content creator event, but I couldn't get up the nerve to go over and shake his hand. This year, I want to do that. And just for the occasion, I got his Topps card that I would be so honored if he would sign it for me to add it to my collection. So that is a big mission of mine this year, is to get Dr. Jim to sign my Topps card and just to shake his hand and meet him. because I'm a big fan of his podcast and just a big fan of what he's doing in the hobby, his content role now. And that would be huge to meet Dr. Beckett. And that gets me into the content creator event. I look forward to meeting everybody. That's arguably more important than any of these items that I'm hoping to pick up. I'm going to have my own Iconic Al cards. It's a new one this year for the 2023 National. And they're all signed and numbered. I had 300 of them printed, so they're all numbered and signed. And so come up to me and ask me for a card, and you got one. I'd also love to have one of yours if you brought cards. So I just look forward to sharing in the camaraderie and hanging out with the whole community. It was just such a joy last year to go to this event and the rooftop event as well, and just talk shop, talk hobby, and share pickups, share joys, and just be in the moment with other collectors. That's what it's all about. I look forward to this immensely, and it's 3 days away. I can't wait. Until we meet, keep collecting and stay iconic.